What if I told you that the single most important hour of your entire day hasn't even started yet? What if I told you that the most successful people on the planet, the ones building empires, writing best-selling books, running companies that change industries, all share one strange habit? They wake up at 5 a.m. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, I know what you're thinking. That's not for me, I'm a night owl. I tried it once and I was absolutely miserable. But here's the surprising part. This isn't really about waking up early. It's about what you do with that time. It's about a formula, a specific science-backed routine, that can literally rewire your brain, sharpen your focus, and help you perform at a level most people only dream about. Today, we're breaking down Robin Sharma's legendary book, The 5 a.m. Club. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand the concept, you'll actually want to set that alarm. And so grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Introduction. Robin Sharma is one of the world's top leadership experts. He's coached billionaires, Olympic athletes, and Fortune 500 CEOs. He wrote The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, a book that sold millions of copies worldwide. But the 5 a.m. Club might be his most powerful work yet. Now the book is written like a story. There's a struggling entrepreneur, an artist going through a breakdown, a billionaire living on a remote island, and a mentor who changes both of their lives forever. It sounds almost like a novel. And honestly, that's what makes it so readable. But underneath all that story is a treasure chest of wisdom about mornings, habits, and what it means to truly perform. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 of the most powerful lessons from the book. The ideas that will actually stick with you. The ones that might just make you set your alarm a little earlier tonight. Let's start with lesson 1. Let me start with a question. What is the most valuable thing you have? Most people say money, some say health, some say relationships. Robin Sharma says it's your morning. Here's his argument. Every single morning you start with a blank slate. Your willpower is at its absolute peak. Your brain hasn't been bombarded yet. No emails, no notifications, no bad news, no drama. For a brief window, right after you wake up, your mind is clear, calm, and completely yours. But what do most of us do with that precious window? We grab our phone, we scroll through Instagram, we check the news, we watch someone else's vacation reel, and just like that, in the first 5 minutes of the day, we've handed our focus, our emotions, and our energy over to someone else. Sharma uses a powerful metaphor. He calls the morning your victory hour, not just any hour, the single most important hour of your entire day. And if you can own that hour, if you can use it wisely, everything else changes. Stop chasing motivation later in the day. Win the morning first. Because the way you begin your day determines how you live your day. And ultimately, how you live your day is how you live your life. Now this is where it gets practical. Sharma introduces what he calls the 20-20-20 formula. And this is the heart of the whole book. The idea is beautifully simple. Take your first hour after waking up and split it into 3 20-minute blocks. 20 minutes of intense exercise, 20 minutes of reflection, and 20 minutes of learning. That's it. That's the whole formula. But let's talk about why each piece matters so much. The first block is all about physical movement, and not a gentle stretch or a slow walk. Sharma says it needs to be intense, sweating, breathing hard, heart rate up. Why? Because when you exercise intensely, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals: dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine. These are the chemicals responsible for focus, motivation, and mental clarity. Researchers have literally called exercise miracle grow for the brain. Think about two people. Person A wakes up at 7:30, hits snooze twice, scrolls their phone, rushes to get ready, and walks into work already frazzled. Person B wakes up at 5, does 20 minutes of high-intensity exercise, and walks into their day with a clear head, elevated mood, and peak mental performance. By 9 a.m., Person B has already won the first battle of the day. They didn't just start their day, they dominated it. The second block is reflection. This is your time to go inward, journaling, meditating, deep breathing, sitting in silence. I know what some of you are thinking. I don't have time to sit in silence, I have things to do. But here's what Sharma says. The busier you are, the more you need this. Think of your mind like a snow globe. When you're constantly moving, constantly reacting, constantly busy, the snow is always swirling. You can't see anything clearly. You can't make good decisions. You can't even hear your own thoughts. Silence lets the snow settle. And when it settles, suddenly you can see everything. Your priorities become clear, your anxiety drops, your intuition sharpens. The third block is learning. Reading. A podcast. Studying something that makes you better at what you do. Here's the math on this. If you read for just 20 minutes every morning, you'll get through roughly 15 to 20 books a year. Most people read less than 1 book a year. In 5 years, that's up to 100 books of knowledge, skills, and ideas that most people around you simply don't have. That's not a small edge, that's a massive competitive advantage. Now, this next lesson might change how you think about personal growth forever. Most self-help books focus on behavior. Do this. Don't do that. Follow this 5-step plan. But Sharma goes deeper. He says that lasting change doesn't start with what you do. It starts with who you are on the inside. He introduces the concept of the 4 interior empires, and you need to master all 4 if you want to perform at your highest level. Well, the first empire is your mindset. How you think, your beliefs, your self-image, your mental models. If you believe you're not disciplined enough to wake up early, guess what? You won't be. Your mindset shapes your reality. The second empire is your Heartset, your emotional world. This is what most self-help ignores completely. You can have the best strategies in the world, but if you're carrying grief, resentment, fear, or old trauma, those emotions will sabotage you. Sharma says, don't just train your mind, heal your heart. The third empire is your Healthset, your physical body. Your brain is in your body. Your energy comes from your body. How you sleep, move, eat, and recover directly impacts how sharp and creative your mind is. Elite performance is a physical game, not just a mental one. The fourth empire is your Soulset, your connection to something bigger than yourself, your sense of purpose. What gets you out of bed not just because you have to, but because you desperately want to, because your work means something. And here's the beautiful thing about the morning routine. The exercise builds your Healthset. The reflection builds your Heartset and Soulset. The learning builds your mindset. In 60 minutes, you touch all 4 dimensions of yourself. That's why it works. Okay, at this point, you might be thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but I've tried to build habits before. I've started morning routines before, and they never last. What makes this any different? That's exactly the right question. And Sharma has a brilliant answer. He introduces what he calls the habit installation protocol. Based on a crucial scientific insight, a new habit takes 66 days to fully automate in the brain. Not 21 days like the old myth claimed. 66. And those 66 days are broken into 3 distinct phases. Each phase feels completely different. And if you don't know about these phases in advance, you'll quit during the hardest one thinking you failed, when actually you were right on schedule. Phase 1 is called destruction. It lasts about 22 days. During this phase, everything feels hard. You're fighting your old patterns. Your brain is confused. Your body resists. You feel uncomfortable, maybe even miserable. Most people quit here. They think it's a sign the habit isn't working. But it's not. It's actually a sign that change is happening. Phase 2 is installation, days 22 to 44. It starts to get easier. You're still a little uncomfortable, but there are moments, maybe just flashes, where the routine feels almost natural. You're building the neural pathway. The highway in your brain is being paved. Phase 3 is integration, days 44 to 66. Now it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to fight it. The habit is part of who you are. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't set a reminder. You don't negotiate with yourself about whether you're going to do it. You just do it. Because it's automated. That's what the morning routine becomes after 66 days. So the lesson? Expect the first 3 weeks to be brutal. Expect it. Plan for it. And keep going anyway. Here's something that surprised me in this book, and I think it surprises a lot of people when they first hear it. Robin Sharma says that peak performance is not about working more. It's not about grinding 18 hours a day. It's not about hustle culture. It's about what he calls the twin cycles of elite performance. And the 2 cycles are high excellence and deep recovery. Every great athlete knows you can't train at 100% every single day. Your muscles need time to repair and rebuild. That's literally how muscles grow, not during the workout, but during recovery. Your mind works exactly the same way. The greatest performers in history weren't the ones who worked the most hours. They were the ones who brought the most intensity to their focused work, and then completely rested. Charles Darwin worked for just 4 focused hours a day, then walked and napped. Mozart composed in short, intense bursts and slept long hours. LeBron James reportedly sleeps up to 12 hours a night. And here's where most people go wrong. They try to perform at high levels while also never truly switching off. They scroll their phone during what should be rest time, thinking they're relaxing. But you're not recovering when you're scrolling. You're still consuming, still processing, still depleting. Isko say, true rest is sacred. Sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is a performance strategy. If you're going to bring fierce intensity to your mornings, you also need to honor the recovery side. Protect your sleep. Build in real downtime. Let your brain breathe. Now, I want to talk about something that I think is the most emotionally powerful part of the entire book. Sharma talks about the difference between the person you are right now and the person you are truly capable of becoming. He calls this your heroic self. And he makes a devastating observation. Most people go to their graves never meeting this version of themselves. They stay comfortable. They choose the path of least resistance. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next month, next year. And then one day, there's no more tomorrow. There's a character in the book, a struggling artist on the verge of giving up. She's talented. She has dreams. But the fear has gotten so loud, the failures have piled so high that she's started to believe the story that she's not enough. And what the mentor tells her is this: your greatest enemy is not failure. Your greatest enemy is the lesser you. The version of yourself that hits snooze, that chooses Netflix over the work, that stays silent when you should speak, that plays small when you were made to play big. The 5 a.m. Club is about defeating that version of yourself. Every morning, one alarm at a time. Because the moment you choose to wake up early, especially when every part of you is screaming to go back to sleep, you're sending a message to your own subconscious. You're saying, I am someone who does hard things. I am someone who keeps their promises to themselves. I am someone who is serious about becoming great. That identity shift is more powerful than any strategy or system. It changes everything. The final lesson is one that Sharma returns to again and again throughout the book. And it's about why all of this matters. Not just for productivity, not just for success, but for legacy. He asks a simple but gutting question. When your life is over, what will people say about how you lived? What difference did you make? Who did you become? And he argues that the path to a meaningful legacy begins every morning. Because legacy isn't built in grand moments. It's built in the accumulation of 10,000 tiny choices. The choice to wake up with intention instead of drifting. The choice to grow a little every day instead of staying comfortable. The choice to invest in yourself so you have more to give to others. That creative project you keep putting off. That conversation you're afraid to have. That career pivot that terrifies you, that book you want to write. The morning is where you face those things before the noise of the world drowns out the voice of your ambition. Sharma reminds us that we all have a genius inside us, a unique gift. And the tragedy isn't failure. The tragedy is that most people never even try. They die with their music still inside them. The 5 a.m. Club is an invitation to live differently, to take your potential seriously, to show up for your own life every single morning. All right, let's bring all of this together. Because I want these lessons to actually stick with you. Lesson 1. Your morning is your most valuable asset. Own it before the world does. Lesson 2. Use the 20-20-20 formula. Move, reflect, and grow for 20 minutes each, every single morning. Lesson 3. Develop your 4 interior empires: mindset, heartset, healthset, and soulset. Work on all 4 dimensions of yourself. Lesson 4. Trust the habit installation protocol. Expect the first 22 days to be hard. It means it's working. Never miss twice. Lesson 5. Pair elite performance with elite recovery. Sleep is not a weakness. It's a weapon. Lesson 6. Every morning, choose your heroic self over your lesser self. 1 alarm at a time. And Lesson 7. Build a life worth remembering. Use your mornings to work on what matters most. Leave your music in the world, not in your grave. Here's what I want to leave you with, Yimahok. Right now, somewhere out there, there's a version of you that woke up early today. That did the work. That said no to the distraction and yes to the goal. That showed up even when it was hard. That person is not superhuman. They don't have some advantage you were never given. They didn't get lucky. They just made a decision one ordinary morning to start. And then they made the same decision the next morning, and the morning after that. The 5 a.m. Club isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about understanding yourself deeply enough to build a life where your actions actually match your values. where your days reflect the person you genuinely want to become. You clicked on this video today for a reason. Maybe you're frustrated with where you are. Maybe you can feel that gap between where you are and where you know you could be. Maybe you're just tired of starting over. Whatever brought you here, I want you to know this. You are more capable than you are currently giving yourself credit for. And it starts with one decision. One morning. One alarm. One small, powerful choice. Own your morning. Elevate your life. Your future self is already grateful. All right. That is the 5 a.m. Club. 7 lessons that I genuinely believe can shift the way you work and the way you live, if you let them. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me. Which of these 7 lessons landed hardest for you? Which one are you actually going to use this week? I read every comment, and I would genuinely love to know what's sticking. And if this video gave you even one idea worth keeping, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this kind of content, and honestly, it really does mean a lot. Okay. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on notifications, because I put out videos like this every week. Books, mindset, the kind of stuff that actually makes a difference in your day-to-day life. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.